What's up, everybody? This is Sunko, the Korean bro. Today is 2022, September 5th. Hmm. Let's look at articles tonight, okay? What do we have? OPEC faces what to do about lower oil prices. Drivers cheer. Mm. Liz Truss set to become new UK Conservative Prime Minister. Global stocks sink as Europe faces new squeeze on gas supply. China accuses Washington of cyber spying on university. Hmm. Could Nike stock be oversold but still overvalued? Can Alibaba and Baidu finally rally with the listing fears gone? Should you be bullish on buried gold? Could Snap stock rebound as management restructures? Hormel looks cheap at these levels. Okay, let's go through these articles first. First article we have is about OPEC, right? Faces what to do about lower oil prices, drivers cheer. OPEC and allied oil producing countries are weighing how much crude to ship to a troubled global economy as recession fears have sent prices far down from summertime peaks. And that is a concern for producers like Saudi Arabia and Russia, whose state coffers benefited from oil prices that peaked in June at over $120 per barrel, but a blessing for U.S. drivers who have seen palm prices fall along with the kosher crude. U.S. oil traded around $89 per barrel Monday, while international benchmark Brent traded around $95.50. The alliance of OPEC members led by Saudi Arabia and non-members including Russia is determining production levels for October after deciding August 3rd on only a token 100,000 barrel per day increase for September. Analysts say Monday's meeting could result in no change in production levels after the group in August finished restoring cuts made during the depth of the COVID-19 pandemic following months of steady moderate increases. So, uh, here's the point. Mainly, there are countries producing oil, gas, and natural resources, and they're now facing mm, what is really important. They have to decide what to do about lowering oil prices. Uh, yeah, well, and also drivers cheer. Why not, right? It's that point. And next one we have is Liz Truss set to become new UK Conservative Prime Minister. Liz Truss has been elected as the Conservative Party's new leader. The party announced Monday, and she thus will become Britain's new prime minister as the country faces an acute cost of living crisis. Okay, in especially this recession period, she's now been elected as a conservative prime minister. We'll see how she deals with the situation, but what's for sure is it's not gonna be easy because especially we're having a hard time, right? The 47-year-old Truss, who is currently Foreign Secretary, beat former Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak after leadership contest in which only about 170,000 dues-paying members of the Conservative Party were allowed to vote. Truss received 81,000 votes compared with Sunak's 60,000. She faces immediate pressure to deliver on hard promises to tackle a cost of living crisis enveloping the UK and the economy heading into a potentially lengthy recession. Yeah, cost of living crisis. Author terms it cost of living crisis and recession. Mm. Global stocks sink as Europe faces new squeeze on gas supply. Global stock markets sank Monday as Europe faced a new squeeze on Russian gas supplies. London and Frankfurt opened lower. Tokyo, Hong Kong, and South Korea fell while Shanghai gained. Oil prices rose more than $2 per barrel, while the euro edged lower. Markets were roiled by Russian energy giant Gazprom's announcement Friday that the suspension of gas supplies through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline would be extended indefinitely. That adds to shortage in Germany and other economies. So basically, shortage of oil, gas, coming from Russia is causing this kind of problem, and because of squeeze on gas supply, global stocks sink. Because mainly for companies to have to produce, you know, mm, to produce a machine or service or whatever that is, they've got to use natural resources, right? So if they squeeze on gas supply or natural resources, they companies would definitely have hard time, you know, would definitely have hard time producing, producing services, right? So gas stocks sink, right? Okay, in early trading, the FTSE 100 in London lost 1.1% to a DAX in Frankfurt tumbled. Uh, Gazprom's announcement puts European stocks under heavy pressure, said Chris Turner of Ing in the report. Also, Friday, U.S. government data showed hiring slowed in August, but wages rose sharply. Forecasters said the Federal Reserve might see that as evidence more interest rate hikes are needed to bring down inflation that is at a four-decade high. Markets landing pushed early optimism for sense of foreboding, said Tan Boon Heng of Mizuho Bank in the report. On Wall Street, the S&P 500 future was off less than 1.1%. Overall, things are not looking great, right? Okay. Now, next one. China accuses Washington of cyber spying on university. China on Monday accused Washington of breaking into computers at university. The U.S. officials say this military research adding to complaints by both governments of rampant online spying against each other. Mm. Northwestern Polytechnic University reported computer break-ins in June, the National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center announced. Mm. Huh. It said the center, working with a commercial security provider, Jihad 360 Technology, called trace the attacks to the National Security Agency, but didn't say how that was done. China and the United States are, along with Russia, regarded as global leaders in cyber warfare research. And China accuses the United States of spying on universities, energy and internet companies, and other targets. Washington accuses Beijing of stealing commercial secrets and has announced criminal charges against China's military officers. Okay, basically, here's U.S., China, along with Russia. They're like uh, number one in terms of cyber attacks and cyber warfare research, and definitely against each other. They're like against each other. Um, they have like spy or whatever that is. They attack, right? And they're like having a serious conflict. The U.S. action seriously endangered China's national security, said Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning. She also accused Washington of eavesdropping on Chinese mobile phone and stealing text messages. China strongly condemns it, Mao said. The United States should immediately stop using its advantages to steal secrets and attack other countries. Hmm. Hormone looks cheap at these levels. Is not the cheapest pick in the consumer staple sector, but it is one of the better values. The stock trades at 25 times its earnings compared to 15 times at the low end of the range, with Kraft Heinz and upwards of 28 times to 38 times for names like Clorox and Lamb Weston. Let's see about it. Hormel. Homer Food Corporation. Okay. Cause Snap, stock rebound as manager restructures. Snap. Hmm. Hmm. Continues to face a fundamental issues and has resorted to restructuring the company during the quarter by announcing the layoffs of its Web3 team. Snapchat reducing its headcount resulted in the stock rallying by over 7% during market hours as investors look forward to the company getting back on track. Hmm. Snapchat's management has started to look at a more sustainable business model and stated the following. As a result of the company restructure, decisions were made to sunset our Web3 team. Snapchat CEO Evan Spiegel stated the following. Our financial results for quarter second do not reflect the scale of our ambition. We are not satisfied with the results we're delivering. Revenue in the latest quarter grew by only 13%. And investors have been taking another look at the future viability of the business. As interest rates continue to increase, many tech companies, which were previously seeing their stock price increase at record levels, have fallen out of vogue. The stock is down over 85% for the year, and things are looking increasingly circumspect for the tech sector in general. Snapchat's revenue has been facing issues as advertisers have been reassessing their investment in general. The advertising based revenue model has been under pressure everywhere, and Snapchat's management is scrambling to get things in order as issues such as Snapchat's demographic, which does not have the purchasing power to track the value advertising, is affecting the company's growth. So investors or even investors uh, want management or like senior management team to do their thing right. Because if they are doing their business poorly, then it can possibly affect um, the account of investors, right? Investor wants to earn money. They don't want to lose money, right? So they're like pushing, you know, they're like pushing like upper management team to do their thing well. They're like deeply involved in it. Mm. Okay, this is it for Market B, and now let's go over to Yahoo Finance. Okay. Uh, things are not looking great. I mean, like, it's all reddish, right? Mm. Definitely, we're having a downward trend again. We'll see. Okay. Europe heading for recession as cost of living crisis deepens. New iPhones more fastback. What to watch this week? China's 22 and 2 property sector outlook worsens. Market screen warning over new UK PM mammoth task. Hmm. Here's where Snap goes from here. I'm rebuilding my retro game collection. Why this producer wasn't pictured with Bob Marley? Hmm. Spad Beth beyond CFO plunges to death in New York's Jenga tower. Okay, is the stock market open today? Okay, as the U.S. housing market returns to sanity, researchers say these five cities are primed for deep price cuts. Here's what Morgan Stanley says will fuel another decline in stocks. The other doomsday scenario looming over markets. How to handle required withdrawals from retirement accounts. Metal plant feeding Europe's factories facing existential crisis. Global stocks drop, euro slides, US futures wobble on Labor Day, and what else is happening in the stock market today? These quant funds poured nearly $1 billion into Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway last quarter. A 5-point social media plan for your wealth management firm. Here's how much the typical baby boomer has saved up for. Mm, hmm. Wow, wow, wow. The 52-year-old executive died by suicide 2 days after he had briefed investors on the home goods retailer's plans to secure new financing slash jobs and closure by the 5th of. Wow. He must have been really, really, really big pressure. Hmm. Why did he choose to die? Right? Hmm. One laugh and Amazon get FTC request for more information on their merger. Elon Musk lawyers to make case for whistleblower complaint to be added to lawsuit. Hmm. European stocks sleep as key Russian gas pipelines remain closed. Forget about chasing leads. Take the lowest interest rate possible. U.S. stocks funds are down 17.3%. Can anything stop blockbuster U.S. job growth? Why it keeps rolling despite slowing economy? Okay, let's go over articles, right? Okay, first we have Europe heading for a recession as coastal living crisis deepens. The Eurozone is almost certainly entering a recession, with surveys on Monday showing a deepening coastal living crisis and a gloomy outlook that is keeping consumers wary of spending. Okay, it's not only South Korea. Like myself, I know things are not looking good. I mean, stock market is not so good. Even mm, mm, even what is it? You know, apartments and like housing, stuff like that. It's being considered as an investment. Uh, you know, it's being considered as uh, never lose kind of thing. Investment. But now things are not looking great either, and Europe is on the same line, I guess. Oh, they crisis deepens. Here it says, while there was some easing of price pressures, according to surveys, remained high, and the European Central Bank is under pressure as inflation is running at more than four times its 2% target, reaching a record 9.1% last month. It faces the prospect of raising interest rates aggressively just as the economy enters a downturn. It faces the prospect of raising interest rates aggressively just as the economy enters downturn. Just as the economy enters a downturn, they're expecting to have another interest rates, uh, high interest rates. Right? It faces a rise in borrowing costs would add to the woes of indebted consumers. Yet, in Reuters poll last week, almost half of the economic survey said they expect an unprecedented 75 basis point rate hike from the ECB this week, while almost as many forecast as a 50 BPS hike. Hmm. Next one, China's 22 property sector outlook worsens. Property sector. Here we have property sector. Property sector. Home prices sin falling. Okay, it's an interesting article because along with this, Korea is on the same page, literally. Woes in China residential property market expected to deepen this year as homebuyers remaining cautious, with economists now expecting home prices to fall in 2022 and betting on a faster drop in property sales than previously forecast. New home prices are expected to fall 1.4% in 2022, according to a Reuters survey of more than 10 analysts and economists polled between August 29 and September 2. In the May quarterly survey, analysts had expected prices to remain unchanged for a year. Property sales were seen slumping 24%. Uncertainty over China's growth prospects and concerns about project incompletion will largely drive weak homebuyer demand over the next 6 to 12 months, said Daniel Zhuo, an analyst at Moody's in a research note. COVID-19 disruptions to business activity and sales execution will also dampen customer sentiment, while buyers' expectations of weaker property prices will delay property purchases. The pace of recovery of the real estate market is still dependent on the pace of macroeconomic condition. Oh, it's really important. The pace of recovery of the real estate market. The pace of recovery of the real estate market depends on macroeconomic condition. So, we have a real estate problem, and if we want better condition, we gotta have a better macroeconomic condition. Otherwise, it's gonna be it's gonna get difficult. It's what it says, right? Uh, hmm. Definitely agree. COVID-19 control restrictions and the strength of policy support. Bad Bath and Beyond CFO plunges to death in New York's Jenga Tower. Bad Bath and Beyond Inc. chief financial officer fell to his death from New York's Tribeca skyscraper known as the Jenga Tower on Friday afternoon. Police said on Sunday, days after the struggling retailer announced it was closing stores and laying off workers. It must have been under really hard pressure. Joined the Bed Bath& and Beyond in 2020. He previously worked as CFO for cosmetics brand Avon in London. Had a 20-year stint with Procter and Gamble, according to his LinkedIn profile. On Friday, 2-year-old man died near the building who suffered injuries from a fall. Police identified the man as Gustav Nurl. Hmm. Wow. See here, it sums up everything. Said it would close 150 stores, cut jobs, and overhaul its merchandising strategy in an attempt to turn around its money-losing business. So Bed Bath and Beyond was not having just a hard time. It had to lay off workers. It had to close shops, and it had to gotta come up with new kind of strategy because otherwise they'd possibly be bankrupt. You know, so hmm, he must have been under really hard pressure, which decided him to just do commit suicide. Wait, oh, okay. Hmm. Sad story. Next one. As the U.S. housing market returns to sanity, researchers say these 5 years is primed for deep price cuts. So, primed for deep price cuts. Primed for deep price cuts. Deep price cuts happens everywhere in Korea, even Gangnam, and like even Gangnam, the city that is considered as mm, that is considered as uh, no failure, right? Okay, let's see what they are in the states, right? Deep price cuts. If you've been squeezed out of the tight housing market over the past couple of years, waiting for the opportunity to buy, you might finally get your chance. And some places are already looking more attractive for buyers. The housing market is beginning to cool, and cities that have seen an influx of affluence, as Rick Palacios Jr. calls it, may see prices drop the farthest. Palacios is a director of research at the John Burns Real Estate Consulting, which delivers analysis on the housing market to clients such as builders, retailers, realtors, and investors. He's predicting a significant downturn in the housing market and avoids Austin, Nashville, Phoenix, Sacramento, and other cities where prices climbed during the COVID-19 pandemic as more people moved to them. These are some of the markets where we were anticipating the steepest price declines in 2023. Hmm. Korea is on the same page, literally, right? Hmm. Once tight markets will be leading the way down. Hmm. Here's what Morgan Stanley says will fuel another decline in stocks. I feel like a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, there were a lot of articles about what you should buy, or like what has 120% potential upward. But now I see articles um, that says like what stocks should you not buy. You know, it's not you should buy, should you not buy. The other doomsday scenario looming over markets because we have doomsday. Um, okay, let's look at it. Okay, I think inflation is the biggest threat to investment. Perhaps not. Okay, what is it then? One fund manager that successfully navigated the past two major stocks crashes is bracing for an awful end to the year because it fears the Federal Reserve's quite active for months. London-based Rothler LLP is concerned that the accelerating runoff of the Fed's Treasury holdings will suck liquidity out of the markets. Just as rising rates and the falling stock and bond prices increase the need for cash to smooth the drop. It puts a pincer on equities and bonds at the same time. I don't quite see it interesting. So let's go over to the next one. The market bottoms near says open on. Here are two stocks to play that bullish sentiment. HashiCorp. Okay, let's first take a look at software, especially HashiCorp, a cloud automation software provider. To be more exact, HashiCorp. Open source tools that integrate with and expand upon the services provided by public cloud service providers like Amazon and Microsoft. Terraform, which configures infrastructure, and Vault, which handles password management, are two examples of the company's nine separate products that cater to diverse segments of the cloud infrastructure industry. The products are right on trend as given the ongoing digital transformation. Enterprises are now leaning toward using more than just one cloud provider. HashiCorp is relatively new to the public markets, having held its IPO in December 2021, when the company boasted a market cap of around $14 billion. But as has been the case for so many, the stock has been unable to counter bearish market trends and is down by 63% since the debut. Not really satisfied. Okay, let's read this one. Three bearish stocks that you should avoid. You should think about shorting this week or day. Or Mohawk, Northwestern. None of them are included in my portfolio. European governments companies gird for high prices after Russia gets cut off. Okay, companies and governments girded for higher energy prices and said they were continuing to prepare for emergency measures after Russia said it had indefinitely halted natural gas supplies to Europe along a key pipeline. Swedish and Finnish government officials vowed Saturday to provide liquidity to the Nordic power market players should they need it. After the move, European governments and industry have been able to soak away more natural gas than some analysts had expected over the summer, protecting the continent from the threat of lower scale shortage anytime soon. It's pretty much about a shortage of oil and gas. Because Europe heavily mm, depends on not depends on, but like they use a lot of energies produced from Russia. So once Russia cuts off natural resources, Europe has got to come up with new kind of sources. Otherwise, they be in serious trouble, right? We're out of articles tonight. I mean, of course, we do have articles, but like it doesn't really interest me that much. So, uh, See, there's no recommendation on stop, right? I'm like scrolling down like over and over, and I don't see any single article that recommends stop. Okay, this is it for today. Okay, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.